dude, this movie was shot really well, like excellently well. The cinematography on some of the scenes of like just the opening, and not the Looney Tunes opening, but like after that, the darkness and the environment for which they set from the very beginning, and you felt like it was depressing and sad. Um, that's truly meaningful and hard to do. And welcome to the Scene Weekly podcast, where two part-time cinematics give their best mid-level takes on things on screens, something like that. This week's episode is focused on our first hate watch, if you want to call it that, with Folie, Deux. I'm sure you can say this much better than me. I'll leave that up to you, my friend. Following up the Joker 1 with the Joker 2. So come join Jonathan and Steven for another week of hopefully less plot chatter and copious more film banter. We are Scene Weekly, and welcome to our world.
Yeah, I think welcome. I think it's actually pronounced Joker Folie Deux.
Did
A doo-doo.
a doo-doo?
Yeah. I mean, that's what a lot of people think about it, right? That's the consensus of the general public.
Some may say. The both of us have missed large movies, I would say. For example, 2001, I just realized you hadn't finished. Which, you know, if you were like kind of halfway into it, it's a long movie, it has a lot of twists, a lot of turns, but I could see why you would not watch this. Hence the not 2001, but the second Joker, and the both of us hadn't. And we felt we should just kind of get forced into it and be like, well, is it really that bad? So we went into this kind of like a hate watch where like, okay, let's just see how bad this is. And honestly, subjectively, I don't know, objectively, we're probably very biased, but like, I was like pleased. I thought this was a fine and dandy movie overall. Honestly, I enjoyed it.
I do have to ask the question and kind of back it up here. Had you seen the first Joker? Like, was that already checked off your box?
Yeah, I've seen it a few times, and to be fair, I actually didn't really like the first one. Like, it was okay. It was not. I didn't have the same visceral reaction that it seemed like the public really got behind Joaquin Phoenix in the Joker 1, and I was like, yeah, it's okay. You know,
so
it's okay.
So what was the cause of you? I guess not necessarily staying away from the second one, but like just not going out and seeking it.
It was, first of all, it was so divisive on like either side of people. No, it was really just shitting on it. I mean, there wasn't many people that actually came to like be like, that was a great movie. Tarantino, although I agree with some of what his analysis was, that, you know, he basically just the joke was on, no, Todd Phillips' joke was on everyone else, like basically us, the audience. It was on the producers of the film. It was on everyone that was involved, basically. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think maybe he has come out and said as much, but which, to be honest with you, he has come out a few times and actually tried to like explain this movie, which I felt like that was
you don't need to
bad.
Don't need to do it.
Yeah, I don't. Especially with like this one, I was like, I don't know if you really that's like the way to go this path. But the reason I say biased is because we read all these bad reviews and probably had the expectations of just the lowliest shit imaginable, and even people that were being interviewed who were in the movie were like, dude, this is gonna suck. Like, so collectively nobody believed in it, and then watching it I was like, really, that wasn't nearly as bad as I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, so I kind of was the same way. I saw the first Joker, and I liked it. It was definitely a dark take on the origin story, and you don't even get like a single sighting of Batman in this world, which I thought was, you know, a good choice. Like, let's leave it to this story, right? And what did Joaquin Phoenix do? He put in a performance that won him the Oscar, right? This movie made $1 billion in the box office, and there was no plan on making a sequel. But I think when that kind of money talks, they're like, well, let's see what we can scratch up here. they're like, okay, Todd Phillips, let's make a second one. And you get complete freedom, creative control. You don't have to do any like test audiences or anything. Like, just here's a boatload of money. I think they got like 220 million to make this film. It's crazy that he got a blank check for this, but it makes sense. Um, and yeah, like when it came out, I wasn't rushing to the theaters to see it, and the whole negative just spew of reviews of what this movie was, and people saying like it's. I was surprised it was a musical for one. I mean, Lady Gaga's in it, so that makes sense. But like, what? And it had the steepest box office drop for its second weekend out of any quote unquote comic book movie. I think it was an 81.4% drop.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's a lot. That's like people just are like, we're staying away from this. This is not. So that's why I stayed away.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those things that I don't want to waste my time on bad movies if I can help it, you know? And so it was one of those things that maybe I was just going to watch it on a plane, you know, or I had to kill time. Then I would probably put it on somehow. But even then I was ripping through like The Net from like 1996 and Sandra Bullock.
I watched you told me you enjoyed it. I think you were like, this rocks.
It was pretty well,
for what
I mean, like, yeah, for what it is, it's I mean, it's pretty hilarious 90s movie, but there was a lot of movies prior to this one. But I have to say, man, I pretty much didn't know much of, if at all, anything about it. I did hear the Tarantino clip and him trying to explain how Todd Phillips was the Joker, basically. And I found myself, and this is, you know, where I will talk, I guess, a little negatively about the film itself, but I felt like I found myself trying to justify its existence by similar analogy to modern art. So if you go to like MoMA or any modern art museum, basically, but MoMA, it would be it for me. Like you look at, I think there's like, you know, every big city has one, but like you look at a blue dot on a white canvas and then you kind of extrapolate and you're using things outside of the actual piece of art to justify its existence. I did find myself at times doing that. Like, for example, for whatever it's worth, like middle way through, I was like, is this actually the prequel to the first Joker? And I was like trying to make it work. Cause like, am I crazy now? And I started building this weird analogy of things that were outside of the movie, which I think kind of, it can be one of two things. Either the plot doesn't make sense, so I'm trying to make it make sense, or secondarily, that may be the effort he was trying to go for, trying to make the audience crazy as well, which I found myself a variety of times. Am I going mad too?
Well, I think it's the whole setup of how Todd Phillips structured this movie. I mean, first it opens up with like a Looney Tunes cartoon, right? we get that first, and then it's this like dark prison drama.
Very well shot, by the way.
I have to hand.
You have
like,
to give it. Yeah.
The cinematography, the camera, even the movement, the angles, just the lighting, everything. Very, very beautiful film. The set pieces are amazing. But yeah, like this mismatch of like cartoon, prison drama, mental health, crisis, courtroom drama, like. It looks like you could be actually going to the courtroom right now with that nice spiffy jacket you got on. What is that?
So this is a friend's father's part of a suit that he had and used to wear in the 70s. And so I figured this is something that Mr. Fleck would probably have donned in one of his crazy era days. So
yeah, it looks like that.
This is the closest I could get. I put this on. And then my wife saw me and she goes, "What the fuck are you wearing?" I've only worn this one time and never in front of her. And she's like, "What?" Like, it was like breaking her brain. Like, what is that? It's like, yeah, I would probably have the same reaction. But anyway, I have to go back to the actual name itself. When you can pronounce it again, Folie à Deux.
Joker, Folie à Deux.
So I actually I knew what that was. Like the two people going crazy collectively. I don't know if you ever saw. I don't know. Maybe this was like, I mean, 15 years ago at least. It may even be from the 90s. But these two Swedish twins, or they may be sisters, but I believe that they're twins. They had this actually happen to them. Have you heard this story?
No, I haven't.
It's wild. So they collectively went insane at the exact same time. I believe it was like um, on like either a busy highway or some sort of street where they just started going nuts collectively, just as like Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix did. And I believe they started trying to kill people, or did. So like
That's
this is a
dark.
real, it's a real thing. I don't know the rarity of it. I should have probably looked this up before. It's just coming top of mind stuff. But like the Erickson twins are what they're called. But I love that there can be an existence where two people who are separate like collectively go insane at the same time. And I think it kind of it's like collective consciousness to some extent. I think it's not just a separation between two identities anymore, but I think it was part of this movie where like you have all these characters interacting and going crazy, possibly themselves, individually, collectively, and then myself also. I'm in like the Folie. What is it? What is three? Tre?
Parlez à
So there's
toi.
three. Yeah, trois. So there's like three of us now, going nuts. But you know, I thought it was just very beautifully shot, and I also thought that they acted quite well. And they may not have it may not have made sense while they were acting in these scenes. Like, what do you think they felt like when they were like, you gotta sing these songs? Like, what do you think? What do you think Joaquin Phoenix was thinking?
Yeah, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is obviously uh, a generational talent. I mean, he was in his own musical as Johnny Cash, so we know he can sing.
Yeah,
But being in with the likes of Lady Gaga, who's just on another level, obviously. Um, but yeah, being in this movie, and there's two types of their these musicals, right? You have the more kind of grounded musical, which was my favorite number, For Once in My Life, where Arthur Fleck finally feels like he has a connection, has made love, and he sings that to his prison mates. And it's very grounded. And that's when it's the singular. But when the two are together, that's when it becomes fantastical. That's where it becomes they're on stage and they're wearing makeup and that's when the madness of the two collectively happen. And I love how he did that. That was very, very interesting of how he did that.
do you like the majority of the songs?
I wouldn't say I like the majority of the songs per se. I like the we're gonna build a mountain. I like that song. I liked the For Once in My Life, and I liked Lady Gaga sang a Frank Sinatra song. Which one was
Oh,
it?
that was
It was
good. That was good. Yeah.
That's
D-
Life. That was
See,
amazing.
to me, I don't know if you've ever had like crazy thoughts, but like I could see this existing. Like again, I go back to like, trying to justify the existence of this movie and what's happening inside of it, and is it like really happening? Like the fantastical stuff that you're mentioning, I I don't know. I don't even have an answer because like my thought was, first of all, is she even there? I don't know. But she is a character, of course. And secondly, like I just imagine crazy people would have these songs and weird thoughts in their head, and maybe they're not even singing it out loud, but they're just having these crazy thoughts like going on, and maybe like as he's watching himself on TV, maybe he's not even there. Maybe he's still. This is why I always went back to like, is this a prequel? Was this like actually the first movie? And then his insanity basically, and he got out of prison to then have Joker 1 be the actual sequel to itself. And then that's where like at the very end he kills himself. I don't know. It just seems like this was the prequel. But again, I think I'm just trying to justify this movie because everyone hates it. So I'm trying
I
to
think you're
find
going
like
insane a little
love.
bit with it. Yeah, but I
Yeah,
mean,
no.
you could read it that way too. I haven't read it that way, but you could read it that way for sure. I think it's if we judge it on the basis of what they're presenting us as a sequel to this story, it is basically a Todd Phillips basically shoving this movie back in the comic book fans' face and say, stop idolizing this lunatic. Like
Yeah.
I made this first movie where it clearly showed you he was mentally ill, and it's definitely a darker portrayal of King of Comedy. Have you seen the Scorsese film with Robert De Niro?
It's I don't remember anything to do with it, but
It's a carbon copy, basically.
like 20 like years ago.
Yeah. Anyways, Todd Phillips basically structured the first Joker movie on that, made it a lot darker with Arthur Fleck. Um, and he goes insane and he kills the TV host Robert De Niro. And people, there's a swell behind this movie that they love seeing this origin story of this madman, the Joker. And Todd Phillips is like, stop idolizing. This is repugnant. Like, this is somebody that's mentally ill, and he's going to make a film that's going to show how not stupid, but how like galvanizing and making somebody this heroic figure that's clearly insane is not the best course of action. And
That's funny, huh? That's an interesting take, one in which I didn't really think of. I took the flip side of that actual argument and thought that he's now this boring character, whereas in the first he became this crazy character and everyone idolized, and now he's just this boring character. But Gaga's going to bring him back to his prime. Hence the reason that this is the prequel and the next is the sequel, and his prime is the previous movie. So like he's just bland and boring. Maybe those 5 people or 7 people that he murdered were actually dead, or he's contemplating doing it in the future. But I thought it was like he's just this bored character, and now he has this new addition to his life, and they're going to collectively go nuts, and he's going to bring back the vengeance of insanity. So I actually felt like it was kind of like the build up to getting to that character again, where he was just this bland dude. Now he's singing songs with his face paint on again. But yeah, I took it, I guess, differently.
Well, I think, and that's interesting. I think that's the whole point of like the Harley Quinn or Lee Quinn character, where she basically says like, I idolize you. I saw the made for TV movie 100 times. I'm
yeah.
like, I'm institutionalizing myself so I could get to meet you because I'm your biggest fan. And she makes up a lie that she burned down her mother's house, but she comes from wealth. And she's basically just trying to get there to get with him. And this gives Arthur all the confidence that he can muster. He fires his own lawyer and he's going to go into court with Joker makeup and try and defend himself. And some of those scenes where like he puts on the Southern accent and he's like, questioning the people on the stand as the Joker, I thought the movie was going to go full tilt into Arthur Fleck is now the Joker, and that's all we get. But Todd Phillips didn't want to do that.
I was waiting for that moment too, pretty much at that point as well. And I would say, yeah, that's kind of like what you're getting at. It was kind of that, not a letdown in that moment, which in effect, if it is a letdown, that is my expectation of idolizing the Joker to begin with. Inherently, your point I could see being made by me being let down to begin with. But I mean, I guess I would say that in terms of a letdown, but I really didn't have much of an issue with the songs. I just thought like crazy people would do all types of crazy things, such as have these songs in their head or sing them out loud, whatever that might be. But
the choice to make this movie a full-on musical,
is it though? Is it?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's got a couple scenes of people singing in the shower. I mean, does that make it a musical?
It's a full-on music. It's 100%. I mean, yes. There's no question. It's not Chicago the musical, but it's definitely the musical. The music is carrying this movie, and carrying some of the plot points along as well.
I'll tell you what, I think Gaga did really well.
Oh yeah,
the scene she was in talking about how she did watch the documentary 60 times or some point, whatever the number is, and her talking about how she wanted him to blow his brains out and then felt relieved after. I was like, I felt her crazy. Like then she just felt like the way she was explaining it and talking about it, like she really did seem obsessed with the Joker, like either in real life or not, or just acting wise. But I felt like she really played the part excellently. Um, look, I'm not. I would. I don't. So I don't know if I should say excellently, but the movie's not excellent overall, in my opinion. But it was far superior than I was expecting.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think I went in with like dirt poor expectations of what this movie was going to be, and I was captivated by just like how it was shot, like beautiful. Even some of the scenes, like where she goes back and lights the piano on fire, and like the whole jail starts ablaze, and like that whole sequence of them kind of escaping prison and whatnot. Just absolutely gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. Um, I don't know how this movie cost 220 million when it was
I
pretty
know, right?
self-contained in a courtroom and sound stages and things like that. I have no idea. I think Joaquin again put on an amazing performance. I don't know how he gets that skinny. That's like almost like Christian Bale machinist kind of skinny, right?
No, I think he was like 120 or 118 for the machinist. Especially Bale is a bigger person too. But yeah, he was thin. He was quite thin. I worry about these people that like really drop or gain. I think Billy Bob Thornton said it affected him greatly in back-to-back movies, but that their livelihood in the future, because like fighters do this pretty frequently, it never works out too well for your kidneys. So, but yeah, he was super thin,
Very.
worrisome thin. Do you think like even in the acting side of things, people are like, "Are you okay, man?" Like, I think you should, I don't think you should go this far, right? Do you think
Yeah,
people in
like
their like lives are like, yeah, whatever, you're an actor and you've dropped 80 pounds and in the next role you gain 110? It's like, no big, I don't know. I feel like somebody should be there to be like, that's not reasonable.
go eat a
But
bagel, man. There's craft
yeah,
service right over there.
yeah,
Eat
that's
something.
true. That's true. That sucks, right? There's all every all the actors like stuffing their faces like between takes, and he can't eat shit.
No, he's
That would
just
actually make it go crazy.
yeah. I think
Oh,
every other scene, like there was a cigarette and like it would just spawn. Like his
but
cigarette would
yeah.
just like,
By
come
the
out of
way,
nowhere.
the longest ash of a cigarette I've ever seen, and
Yes.
continue to hang and dangle there. I couldn't do anything but stare at it. I don't even know what was being discussed. Even he may have been singing at this time, but I was like, when is it gonna fall? Come on, man. It's like in The Office where like the screensaver, if it hits like directly in the corner,
Oh
when
yeah.
yeah, they're like waiting for that moment. I was just like waiting. When is it gonna fall?
Paul,
Wasn't even
that was
paying attention to the
amazing.
movie. I will say this, going back to so my favorite, I guess, scene or scenes from the movie were definitely the trial of him, acknowledging his craziness, but his also inability to be able to contain it anymore, really, and kind of just oozing out of him. I just really like. Uh, I don't know if you've ever tried this, but you actually legitimately feel crazy when you do it. I've done this in a variety of ways, mainly with my wife, but so there is somebody there, I think. But the overwhelming laughter of trying to do that sort of laugh. I don't know if you've ever like attempted it, like his type of
His
Joker
crazy
laugh.
laugh where he's just
Yeah,
standing in the rain and just laughing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Or like
I've
if you look in the mirror and do it, it's like even creepier. You've never done that? Tried to just creep yourself out? The things that I do
no, I
for
haven't.
fun. Or
I will
like
try it though.
you should try that, and then back it up with like if you're in the car, if you get really bored in a car and like a long car ride. This is so not related to anything to film right now. I guess it's just making me go crazy. But like screaming at the top of your lungs, you ever do that?
I've done that many a times in my career as a server or whatever. I'd go in the walk-in and yeah, just let out a blood curdling scream because it feels good.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
So was it because of anger from watching this movie, or is this from like, or is this like just people annoy you?
Sometimes life, sometimes you have a when you're young, you have this like table where you think you give the best service, and it's a $200-300 tab, and they just like leave you nothing. Then
Uh,
then you want to just strangle somebody, but never did that. Just go and yell in the walk in.
tying it back to the movie, we're already 25 minutes in talking about something else. I just I I was appreciative of the fact that even if she's idolizing him, what are you sipping on over there, by the way?
Oh, Topo Chico lime,
Oh,
touch of
nice,
lime. Yeah.
tasty drink. That he had this crazy person that he has that inability to be able to control any longer, but he doesn't have to. He has this new person that he can confide with and sing songs with and be happy again, and ultimately happiness. Maybe he goes crazy with her.
Yeah, but
They're in love.
there's contingencies to this love, right? He doesn't know this yet, but she has a very big contingency that he has to be Joker. He has to be this persona. And that's the whole reason that they're going to trial, is to say that he has this split personality, right? One side is the Arthur Fleck, and he can't control when he becomes the Joker.
That's right.
And that's the idea behind their love, is she's in love with this character as the Joker, this personality. And then when Arthur, go ahead.
No, just keep going.
I just think it's just really, really interesting when Arthur, there's that pivotal moment in the courtroom where he addresses the jury, and he's like, I am who I am. I killed all of those people. I'm guilty of these crimes, and I can't be this Joker person anymore. Like, this is just an act, a charade, part of my fantasy, but whatever it is. And Lady Gaga's character, Harley Quinn, she's like, I'm done. Like, that. This was supposed to be my partner in crime, not my partner in jail that's going to be spending the rest of his life there, sad, miserable, alone. And I thought that was really interesting how they played that.
It's also an interesting play to get institutionalized to be close to your lover, with the greater assumption that you, of all people, are going to affect and impact that person to not only want to be with you, but also to make them go insane. It's pretty aspirational. You got to admit. It's like,
That's
all right,
very,
I'm going to
yeah,
get very very goal oriented,
Mm-hmm. She's manifesting her dream right there.
Oh, like, boy, is she. And his.
And
I mean, she's just affecting everything. I think there should have been a song about that, manifesting dreams. Maybe you and I could write one for next week's episode. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say. I
have some questions.
I probably won't watch this again, but I was pleased with it. Yeah, hit me up, brother.
Yeah, so I feel like this is one of those movies that, in the canon of time, this is going to be, when it came out, very divisive, as people reject it. But I think in like 10 to 15 years, or maybe more. And what do you think about this? This movie will actually age better over time, or do you think it'll get more divisive? I don't think it's going to get more divisive.
It can't get any more divisive. It's at 34% on Rotten Tomatoes. This really come out in 2023. It's been like 2.5 years that we put this on the back burner. It's a long time. I think it can't get any worse, so it's only going to go up from here. Ultimately, also I've repeated this to you many times. Something happened maybe like 6-7 years ago, but Rotten Tomatoes scores I disagree with more than I ever have. But up until like 6 or 7 years ago, I was like fairly in agreement with their scores. I mean, some movies that we've discussed, like the Beach and stuff, are very different for me. But like, I feel like 34% is it's kind of crazy that it would be this low. But what were they expecting? A non-musical? Didn't they go into this? Didn't they go into this watching the trailer and like maybe reading a review, or did they just go? Did everyone collectively go in without doing anything or talking to friends?
So a lot of the critics that first saw this movie, it first premiered at the Venice Film Festival without any kind of like trailer, without any kind of test screening or anything like that. So people were going, all right, let's go see Joker 2. Got Lady Gaga. It's going to be Harley Quinn. They're going to be up to no good. It's going to be this rompous fun, dark and twisted in Gotham. And all we got was like Arkham Asylum in a courtroom and fantasy.
Okay, that's a joke right there. If that's the case for like the actual critics, I would agree with Tarantino in that specific fact pattern. That definitely the joke was on those critics who were collectively like probably like just up in arms. Like, what the fuck is going on? I actually like that. Then I mean that again. I'm back to idolizing the Joker, even though
Yeah,
Todd
so
Phillips I guess was, but that's great.
I'm going to read a couple reviews that I found funny
Oh please.
on Letterboxd, and these are reviews that definitely didn't vibe with the movie. They weren't they weren't the best reviews, but I found them funny, or at least kind of apropos, appropriate, whatever. All right, Joker, Folie, Deux, 2.5 stars. Watching this is the equivalent to being made a delicious, frothy cappuccino, made personally by Todd Phillips himself, until I go to taste the coffee, only to find out that it's not coffee and it's actually just piss. To which I look up in horror to see Todd Phillips stood there with a devious grin on his face. That's the first review. And that's kind of true, right? You think you're going into this like delicious thing.
So let's take a step back. Like 2.5 out of 10 or 2.5 out of 5? Because that doesn't seem. Oh, that's Letterboxd. That doesn't seem. The review itself doesn't match the numbers.
Right.
Like if you ordered a cappuccino and then you got piss served to you, that's more like a negative. That's like That's like a half star.
Yeah.
Like
somebody likes piss.
Yeah, it seems like their review is like, oh, actually, piss doesn't taste that bad after all. It's like that's what I'm gathering.
All right, anyway, here's another
that person, by the way? What's their name?
Sam Bennett.
Sam Bennett. Boy, R. Kelly got something for you.
This is by Pim, a Letterboxd user named Pim. Joker, Folie, Deux, 2.5 stars. I saw a group of guys when I walked out of this. One of them literally said, I really hope Gladiator 2 isn't a fucking musical. And I genuinely lost it. That alone was better than this whole movie.
I did actually. I don't know where I read that, but when I was looking it up, I did actually read that too. I think that became pretty popularized. That quote, if it did it, in fact, again, like that's another one that's like 2.5. Like this movie sucks so bad. Like give it like a Friday the 13th type of rating where you give it like one
half star.
Yeah, or like Aloha. I don't understand. Like 2.5 is, that's Death Note territory. I don't get it. I mean, it's bad, but it's not like what these words are like. Can I not listen well or read well? Like, am I reading between the lines? I don't know. It doesn't seem that bad.
Yeah. Next time you go to Starbucks, ask for a cup of piss, John. Please. Grande piss, please.
I love bad reviews. Like they just shit on things. I like them more on Yelp though.
Or you do Google too, right?
Yeah, I like to read like terrible reviews. It's fun, but overwhelming, waste of time ultimately. And here we are evaluating movies. Doing it.
I do have a fun little anecdote to this movie that's personal. If you want to hear it. Yeah. Okay. As you chug your San Pellegrino.
That's an Allagash White.
Oh, nice. It is afternoon there. So I will let you know that throughout this movie, there was this inmate that was kind of like smiling and eyeing Joaquin Phoenix the whole time, right? And we get to the end of this movie. And spoiler alert, if you guys haven't seen this movie, I don't know why you're watching this or listening to this podcast, but this inmate that's been kind of idolizing Joker, Arthur Fleck, shanks him in the end, right? What does he say? Joke's on you or something like that. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And then we see that this guy in the background, kind of blurry, is starting to carve a smile in his face. And like that lends us to believe that, okay, so Arthur Fleck is not the real Joker. He's the genesis. He's the idea behind what the Joker could be. But my story is this. When I started at my restaurant here in Los Angeles, we hired this guy. And, we hire actors and things like that all the time. because we're in LA and it's Hollywood, whatever. And somebody asked him like, "Oh, what have you been in?" He's like, "I recently was just in the second Joker movie," and I didn't really think much of it because it got poor reviews and everything like that. I was like, it's a big movie, but like he was probably just like some kind of extra or whatever like that in it. And then later on, I was like watching this thing on the red carpet from the Golden Globes, and there was this guy talking about him being in Joker and how he got fired from a restaurant in LA. And I was like, that's the guy that we fired from my restaurant.
What did he do to get fired?
I believe
or is this is protected information?
No, I think he's already talked about it in interviews and things like that.
Okay.
But what he did was like somebody ordered like a $400 bottle of wine, and when he was bringing the wine, he's like, "Here's the wine, and just so you know, it's $400." Before he opened it, and that made the guest assume that he couldn't afford the wine, so he wrote a bad review. And you're not supposed to qualify that. You're not supposed to say, "Hey, just so you know, this bottle's $400." I don't know.
I mean, that's a. I don't know how to run a restaurant, so I have no evaluation of this. It just seems like a little harsh. But what would you have done if you owned the?
Oh, you just open the bottle of wine. Here's your Chateauneuf de Pape. There you go.
Did it have the price next to it when the person was ordering?
Yeah, of course. There's a price.
Because I've had the same happen to me.
Yeah.
$330 bottle. They're like, you know, this is $330. I was like, yeah.
Were you wearing that jacket? That's probably why.
I wore this. The only time I ever wore this is with my friend Nanny and Jason when we went to the Monaco casino. And for whatever, I don't know why, we brought jackets to like fit in, and we were there for like 8 minutes. And they're like, Bond was here. This is great. And then you go into the casino and like, this is a shitty casino, like terrible.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't good. There's nothing like even in it. But anyway,
yeah, he was in the movie. Now he's a big. I guess he's like in a TV show and whatnot now. But anyways, what did you think of that ending? Do you think that did you read into that? Arthur Fleck is not the real Joker. This guy's going to be the real Joker. That's kind of how the story goes.
I was getting so mad that by the end I kind of like didn't care about anything, and I didn't want to like use my brain anymore to try to justify. It's kind of similar of like walking through modern art museums. Honestly, like at the first, you got patience at the beginning, and then by the end, you're like exhausted trying to justify the existence and even why you're there to begin with. And I feel like that was it for me. Again, I go back to what I said at the end of last time I talked. It was basically like, yeah, probably not going to watch this again. Yeah, I think I'm good. It's like one and done. And I guess, did I love it? No. Is it way better than I was expecting? Yes, but I was by the end of the movie thankful it was over and wasn't trying to give it any more credence than I had provided. I think willingly provided for the whole 2 hours I was watching it, basically, or however long it is.
What did you think about like when in the courtroom scene when the explosions happened? Mm-hmm. Did you think, oh shit, the Batman's going to be here? He's going to swoop in, or? No. I had that inkling. I was like,
I have a great thought. If they would go back to the original, like the Looney Tunes, have like a Lego Batman come in, and then it's like we're all nuts, or like a cartoon version, Looney Tune cartoon version of Batman.
Adam West's Batman, yeah.
That would Adam West Batman actually would go over well, I think. Like, and with Robin. Of course.
You have to have Robin, yeah.
I mean, it would just be,
Is this your favorite comic book movie of all time?
This movie?
Yeah.
You mean like the Joker?
Yeah.
I don't particularly like, to be honest with you. I mean, it just was so soon after, to me, it was so soon after the trilogy, Nolan's trilogy of, like, I didn't need this in my life, including the first one. And it was like, I didn't really want to watch the first one even. And then I did, and because there was so much praise about it. And I was like, I kind of flip-flopped, where I was like, Yeah, it's okay. Again, it's one of those things I'll probably just watch once, and then the second I was like, it's not as bad as everyone was expecting it, or I was expecting it to be, but thought it was better. But I do not need a third, Mister Todd Phillips.
I don't
Like,
think they're gonna give that to him. I think they're I think they're done. Uh, yeah, I mean, this was Joaquin Phoenix's first ever sequel. He's never done a sequel before in his life.
oh wow,
Yeah,
huh?
and I don't think there's going to be a trilogy. That'd be the joke would really be on all of us if they do. What would the third one be? What would he? How would he troll us to make a third one? Would it be a silent era kind of Charlie Chaplin-esque Joker film?
I don't know. I think let's go real crazy and real weird. And actually, since this is his only time that he's had a sequel, why don't we just have sequels to all of the other movies that he had? So like we'll throw him into the environment of The Village, but he's the Joker.
Okay, and
Yeah,
Napoleon
so
as the
yeah,
Joker.
yeah, just bring it. Yeah. See,
That'd
you
be
get the
great.
crazy laugh. You get a crazy laugh, and then you're like, "Where does this go?" And that would that would do very poorly. I don't. The execution of that would be just overwhelmingly difficult. You bring him back, get Russell Crowe in the mix.
I mean, we got getting
Does he?
Gladiator in there, right?
Does
Yeah,
he live? Yeah. See,
and
this
there's
is
got
what
to
I
be a
mean. Like,
musical
this is
number.
MoMA. This is MoMA. Like, this is where like you're trying to get outside of a piece of art to provide justification that either it exists.
Did this need to exist? That's the question I have.
No, no,
Right?
but it does, and it was better than the 34% on Rotten Tomatoes and pretty much every review, including by Pim and I can't even remember the other person's name, but this wasn't a cappuccino being
Full of paste.
disguised. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go first because I know time is of the essence for you and of me. I was pointing to the screen that my daughter wants to play video games here in a second. She's probably listening right now. By the way, she just turned 6, which is a weird thing. Having a birthday party later today, so we got to get ready.
Oh,
And with that being said, I think you probably know where I'm going to sit on this one. Like, the numbers for the 2 reviews that you read are interesting, but I'm not in agreement with what those words said. But I gave it a 3 glasses for me. I can't give it anything more. I feel like that's probably what I would give like a good piece of modern art as well, like that type of rating. Good piece of modern art, meaning. I think LACMA isn't that a modern art museum where you are?
yeah, LACMA. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and I remember like walking in there, and there was like an aquarium, like a large aquarium,
I haven't
or
been.
like and just like there were basketballs inside of it, and that was it. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Kind of like what my wife said when she looked at me wearing this. And so, it, maybe you can find some justification for it, the songs, the insanity of it. But ultimately that's the best I could do.
Yeah, I look at this movie and I try and like say like let's strip away the comic book like lore behind it and like let's look at it as like a portrait of a man where the system has failed him and the prison system, the mental health system, the courts, everything like that. And what are you left with is like this very sad look and this very sad portrayal of somebody going through it, and trying to find some glimmer of hope on the other side, which he thinks he does in the form of Harley Quinn. But that admiration stops as soon as he lifts the veil on who he really is. I think it was a beautiful, beautiful portrayal of that. I look at it as like the glasses system. Now that I'm thinking of it, 2.5 stars would be 50%, right? That's like
Mm-hmm.
50% on
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes. Um, so I'm definitely above the 50%. I think it's kind of, in my estimation, it's in that fresh realm. I think I would give it 3.5 glasses, because I think one, this movie will age well down the road. People go back and look at this and be like, this wasn't just a troll job from the director, but he was trying to say something kind of really important that you don't get in comic book movies, and especially like the swath of comic book movies that we've had in the past 15 years.
Oh my
Like this
god.
had some very, very deep resonating themes in it. And I like the songs. I like the performances. I like the cinematography. I think that there was what you said, like it is kind of like a piece of art that like does it need to exist? No, but it does. So there we have it, and let's kind of judge it on that. So yeah, 3.5 for me.
I'll love to go up. Let's bring this up. Fuck the people. These people that hated on the movie. 3.5 it is. I can't even go 4. I just want to do a 4. Let's make it 5. No, I we're in this such a divisive time, and I know that irony is clearly going to be felt here, but like we have 75 episodes basically of a podcast of us shit, or mostly me shitting on movies or praising them, a lot of praise, and you partially you too, but like, why do we have to be that negative, and collectively that negative? It's almost as if these echo chambers, these people just got in these echo chambers and just kind of repeated everything that everyone else was just saying and didn't really evaluate it, like you were saying, on its own objectivity of like, dude, this movie was shot really well, like excellently well. The cinematography on some of the scenes of like just the opening, and not the Looney Tunes opening, but like after that, the darkness and the environment for which they set from the very beginning, and you felt like it was depressing and sad. Um, that's truly meaningful and hard to do. It's not like, I don't think that should be overlooked. And just because there are songs in this, that doesn't. I mean, it does take away from it. But uh, I think, why throw everything out? Why the baby should still be in that bathwater?
I think people were going in with the expectation, like say like you get invited to a party.
Cappuccino and piss. I get it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like it's just not what you're expecting, right? Um, but I don't know. Like I've had I like the expectations, kind of the rug pulled out of you. Like I would have loved to have been in that crowd at Venice to see this movie first and like see what the conversations are walking out of it. And I probably would have been in agreement, because like negativity kind of feeds into that negativity without really sitting back to evaluate it on your own kind of merit. But if like people are surrounded you and said, "What the fuck was that?" I would probably say the same thing.
Can
But
I ask a
go ahead.
question? Was
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix there at that moment?
Oh, I don't know. I hope he
How?
was.
How? Because Joaquin Phoenix, remember what was that movie that he made that he became? He was quitting acting and he went on like David Letterman, and Letterman was like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It was directed by Casey Affleck.
yeah, that was not great. Also, a weird moment in his life. None of that I thought was like good.
He's like giving acting to be a rapper, and there's a
Oh,
documentary about it.
it's just like wild. Anyway, it'd be great if kind of like he played a part, like tipping his own cap to himself, and if he were there in the theater, not just as the Joker, but similar to Arthur, and would give himself a standing ovation for like 7 minutes or something, and like go like, and then like kind of flow into the role of him, like becoming Arthur, becoming the Joker, and then also he's there watching it with these people, like that storyline would have been excellent to me. But he would probably was so sick of this movie. I mean, no, I mean they both of them, and him and Gaga, like, were like, what are we doing?
Well,
Like,
because
it's like,
yeah, they
this
were
is,
like, "What is the direction of this movie? We'll do it. They're getting paid." But
it's interesting because Tim Dillon was in the Joker too, and maybe I looked down for a split second, but he had lines too. I don't remember seeing him at all. Maybe
Tim Dillon, I don't know who that is.
he's a comedian from
Brendan
Long
Gleeson
Island.
was in it.
Yeah, yes, he was. He
He's
had
good.
more speaking parts. But anyway, what are we doing next week?
I
And then
think
we
we're
have
dipping our toes into Oscars. Is that happening?
possibly. We have some weeks though before the
That's
Oscars,
true.
so
Yeah.
it's we got a while. So we'll have to.
I have
Figure
some
it out,
ideas to toss out. I'd like to, do some kind of just fun, dumb after this week, like some kind of fun, dumb 90s movie. Maybe The Net, something like that.
But do you want to do the net?
I don't know. I
That,
haven't seen it.
that would save me some time. You've never seen the net ever?
I don't think so. Maybe I have. I
Oh,
don't know.
it's not one of those that I watched it on a plane, and I would say, like, it does nail. I don't want to get into the details. I mean, if you want to do it, then I'm good. It would save me time as well that I'm studying for this compliance certification. So
Yeah. All right, sounds
Well,
good. Well, let's lock it
yeah.
in. Happy birthday to your daughter, and
Thank you.
have fun at the party.
Goodbye.